Thank you for staying with us. Well, we've been talking about the Nigeria political landscape. A lot has changed in the last few days. Of course, the last days look so much like long years in the eyes of some politicians in Nigeria, because the fortunes of so many parties have changed. Some parties being ruling party, they're now becoming somewhat a regional party. Well, today we're looking at the dynamics of the Nigerian politics. Of course, we're looking at the next dispensation and setting agenda. I have joining me now the governor of Delta State, Governor Emmanuel Uduaghan. Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Today.
Thank you very much.
Quickly, let me just show you this map. I know you are a very strong member of your party, a governor, a leading governor of your party. This is how it looks now. The green looking so much looking good for the APC. And just into 2011, this looks so much like a reverse of what we had. PDP having the majority and APC having just a few. I mean, well, the party now that are made of APC, CPC, ANPP, faction of ABGA, and of course the ACN having just a handful of the states. But now this is how it looks. How do you receive this new twist to the Nigeria politics?
Well, first of all, it's unfortunate that we are where we are politically as a party. It's a party that ruled this country for about 16 years, virtually had the whole country, control of the whole country, but now we are being reduced to, I would say, 2 regions and a half, 2.5 regions. It's unfortunate, but I believe that we can bounce back. I sincerely believe that we can come back as a party if we really sit down to analyze what has happened as a party, see the learning points, deal with it, and move forward.
All right. I mean, looking at how bouncing back, how easy bouncing back would be, one would be looking at the fact that how did the PDP get to this point? From 1998 up to 1999, when your party won that election, and up to this time, 4 elections have gone. This is the 5th election. You've won all those elections. How did it go bad for the PDP?
Well, let me take it from 2011, because up to 2011, it wasn't that bad. But I think we started really sliding very sharply from 2011. And how did it happen? And now, as soon as the 2011 elections were over and we had a new leadership in the party, some elders, leaders, and of course National Work Committee members, we believe that they sat down and said, look, the governors were becoming too powerful in the party. Now, historically, when you look at political parties, there's always a segment of the party that the party anchors on. MPN anchored on ministers, because they could fund the party, of course, and they could move around. PDP has anchored its strength on governors from 1999. You know, so some people sat down and said, look, governors were becoming too powerful. Let us cut their wings. Unfortunately, they were aligning with National Assembly members, and we had a chairman there who was behaving like a chief executive officer of the party, and started writing letters and queries to governors, you know, to governors. And of course, that led to crisis in the party, and we lost some governors, you know. 7 initially, but 5 eventually left. Finally, 2 were able to, although they had grievances, but they stayed with the party. And of course, the party did not recover from the loss of those 5 governors. And this went on until we got to the issue of the primaries. Of course, when the primaries came, we had a lot of challenges with primaries. We had problems between a combination of factors between the states, the national body of the party. Now, what was the problem? The problem was that there was no level playing ground for people who wanted to contest elections at all the levels. You know, you see, yes, people had interest. As a governor, naturally you have interest in who takes over from you. But it wasn't done in such a way that even those who lost primaries were happy about it. So many people just the primaries actually caused a lot of loss of members from the party. Of course, that time APC was already strong, and they started moving in droves into the party. Then, of course, before then, there was also the issue of the Nigerian Governors Forum. You know, the governors came together as Nigerian Governors Forum, and it was a very strong body, which somehow got to a point where some people at the federal level started dreading the Nigerian Governors Forum. And of course, within us, there was this divide, which was really supported from outside. A lot of people from outside supported this divide. And we didn't seem to, to understand or to know that that divide would be catastrophic to especially to PDP, and it happened. And PDP was a greater loser in that.
All right. Does it also the implication of the fact that a lot of people have said the performance of some of the governors, leaders of a part in their state, in the PDP control state, is responsible again for the change that we have seen in the landscape?
Well, not merely. I think very little with performance in terms of. I mean, when you talk about performance, I'm assuming that they're talking about what the governors have been able to give to their people.
Yes.
I don't think it was much about that. I think it was more about the politics, of the primaries and membership of the party. Now, don't forget that really what drives the final result in the election is the political parties, the leaders of the parties, how they are able to galvanize people. That is why it is difficult for an independent candidate to win election. You must have a strong political structure, and that political structure is based on the way the party has been managed to keep the members together. Not just the empowerment alone, but other factors, that keep the party together. And then, of course, we had a problem with the presidency. Also, when I talk about the presidency, I'm not talking about the president himself. I'm talking about people around the president. If you notice, in 2011, there were key people around the president who mobilized and galvanized the civil society in particular. We had the General Azazi. Of course, we had Roto Douglas. These people were not there at this election. We had people like RQ Briggs and all that who were also very supportive. But you see, for those who were dead, unfortunately, and for those who were alive, there was a lot of elbowing at that level. So people who thought they were closer to the president and all that, elbowed people away. And of course,
it's an issue of those the president had around him this time around that changed the fortune for him.
Some people around.
They were not telling the truth.
Yeah, they were not telling the truth. They were not being honest. I mean, when you start elbowing people, I would take, why should an Obasanjo leave the party, for instance?
That was a major blow for the party.
Whatever it is, he had, it's not somebody you can take for granted in Nigeria. Why did we allow him to go? Two, somebody like Chief Aneni struggled to the end. But, I mean, I can say this openly, that he was doing it under very harsh conditions. People who did not want him, I mean, that's somebody who is very experienced, who knows Nigeria very well. I would have been able to. But he was struggling to put things together. Each time he tried to put things together, people tried to scatter it for him. So we had this kind of persons.
And again, when the way and manner the chairman of the party also exited the party at that time, talking about the chairman of the party at that time too, how he left and how the new the party chairman Bamanga took over.
Yeah,
because that grievance also is there for some people.
Well, I don't think, but it was inevitable that Bamanga Tuku had to leave. Because at the time he left, the party was really good. But we thought with a new chairman, at least we'll be able to pick up the pieces. But things went really.
But really, if you look at things as it is now, you're talking about the PDP bouncing back. With the way the APC came and that mantra change that the party brought into the fray, which looks so much like was a sweeping effect for your party that swept your party away from dominance. Do you think your party can even come back in another 2 or so elections?
Let me say that in the APC today, over 50% of people in the APC were once in PDP. Yeah, that is the truth.
You're right.
So we know ourselves, and we know that with honest and good leadership, PDP can bounce back. APC has a very big challenge in leading this country. They are taking leadership up at a time when a lot of things are problems in Nigeria, and they have so many multiple problems, and they have to be able to deal with those problems. But with a very strong, with a very committed opposition from PDP, PDP can grow if we're able to leave what I think that you call it arrogance of power. Of course, we don't really have empowered national level again, so there's nothing to be arrogant about. If we're able to...
So the humility of loss of power. So to say. You can't be arrogant for what
we don't have the power, so there's nothing to be arrogant about. Now we have to be humble, honest, and dedicated to the party. We have, with 13 governors, I believe that we can still build the party to take over leadership. If we work hard enough in 4 years, but if not hard enough, maybe 8 years.